Good evening, Professor. Today I'm going to be discussing our week 3 assignment, which is chapter 6. And here we focus on measuring and managing customer relationships. And of course, my company is Microsoft. So first of all, Microsoft's customer base is really companies. As you can see here, mostly all of Microsoft corporate America, and largely, in fact, their customers are all corporate offices. If you think about it, when you go to work, what operating system are you running on your computers? I promise you, it's a Windows or an Office, Windows 7, Windows XP, maybe even Windows 10 now, or Windows 8. So really, most of their product or their revenue comes from Cal licensing and Microsoft Office. Think about it. You use Word, you use PowerPoint, what we're using now, So Microsoft has a large customer base when it comes to corporate. They also have the Xbox Live, and their customer base there is the youth and young adults that game. So how is it segmented today? Microsoft has about 35.8% of their business come from enterprise. And when you talk about enterprise, these are like large businesses, like the Bank of America, large businesses that seek them for licensing and products and suites. 20% of the segment of their business is small and medium businesses. So that goes to show you there, how it breaks down. And then consumer and online is 16%. It's a very interesting number. I think this is where it bridges the gap between Apple. Apple's very consumer based. Although a lot of people have it at home as an operating system, they're able to target this market share here, which for them is pivotal, and it's huge. If you think about it, everybody works, everybody has computers at work. You may not have a computer at home. And 28% of their sales is OEM, which is when you buy a computer, it already comes pre-factory with the installation. So for every computer they sell, think about it, whether it's HP, whether it's IBM, whether even Microsoft, even Apple products use Office, but that's an OEM, meaning it already comes out of, I forget what the acronym stands for, but it's basically pre-boxed. The operating system's already installed in your system as you purchase it. So what are their focus areas? And this I got from their yearly corporate, what their focus areas will be for this year. Xbox and TV, the Bing, their search engine, Office, of course, their Office suite that includes Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, Excel, Access, Project, all those. Windows Server, so that's all the server software operating system. Windows Phone, which we know that they've launched new phones, and that's a huge new initiative for them. Windows, of course, which is their operating systems, which they just recently launched 10. The business users, of course, we know that's their target market, and SQL Server. So we'll go here to the next slide, and what does Microsoft's operating income statement look like? So this we pulled off of Yahoo Finance, and as of March, well, let's go June 30th, their total revenue is $22 million. Their gross profit, $14,000. As you can see here, the breakdown of research and development and all operating expenses for them, and recurring expenses. Their losses, something interestingly I found out about Microsoft is that they do tend to take a big hit initially, but for them it makes sense because they feel like in the long run they'll get their money back. Very smart. Something that they did with Xbox was, they knew they were going to lose money out on the product, and they were actually selling it at a lot less than what the product cost them. So they weren't making gains, or they weren't breaking even with their production of the units, but where they were hoping to win money back was with their online subscription for gaming, which was Microsoft Live. which is a very interesting strategy for them, and it's proven, effective because they do tend to be profitable. Maybe not in the game console, but they are with their subscriptions being profitable. So as you can see here, they took a hit on net income. It's $3 million. And it just goes to show how a large corporation like them, how they strategically align themselves and maintain profitability even by taking losses. Alright, so what is, as we were talking about in chapter 6, managing and measuring customer relationships, what do they do to maintain these relationships? So they started this loyalty program with Bing. It's called Bing Rewards, and it's based on searches. So as you search on the search engine, if you do like 5, I think it's after 5, you start accumulating points, searches, then you start accumulating points where you can then trade them in for gift cards. I think this is a good way for them to get people off of the Google platform and into their search engine, by creating a loyalty program where Google doesn't even have a loyalty program for their search engine. So where's the loyalty lie? TechNet subscriptions. TechNet subscriptions are used for the technically savvy individual, where they purchase a subscription from Microsoft and they get incentives as you get pre-releases to software, you get to trial version, you get to test and beta products before they're even out on the market. This is all on the software server licensing side, but it's a really, really cool subscription that technicians can subscribe to. They also have volume licensing subscriptions, which help businesses out because it gives you a cost reduction on your licensing. So say the license for Microsoft Office, or let's say Office, is $120. If you buy a volume subscription and they sell them in cals, if you buy like a 5 volume cal, it ends up costing you like $300. So it works out to have that subscription. And I think it's something, I forget how much the business, I think there's an initial buy-in for it, and then after that you don't pay it. So it kind of pays itself in the long run. They also have the 365 subscription for end users, which is a really cool subscription because let's say you don't feel like you need to use Microsoft all the time or Office all the time, so you don't buy the full license forever, you just use this subscription based, and if you want to stop paying, you stop paying, and if you don't, you continue. So I was able to find a couple of surveys. Specifically, SurveyMonkey had conducted a customer loyalty survey, and as you can see here, Microsoft got a -8 in comparison to Apple, which is 28. What I found a little biased about this customer loyalty survey is that if you really think about it, Microsoft is, their customer base is corporate America. This is a consumer survey, which means it would be the regular individual. They're not surveying here businesses. I think if this survey was done to businesses, Microsoft would definitely rank much higher than Apple as far as loyalty when it comes to purchasing for the internal infrastructure of corporate America, and even not even in America but in other countries as well. But then also what was interesting is their customer satisfaction. If you look here, Microsoft was rated a 19 in customer satisfaction, as to where Apple was 41. By the way, this benchmark of -8 is kind of like where you see Comcast at, which isn't very good, which is known and regarded as a very, very bad loyalty company. But then as far as customer satisfaction, I mean, they have a really good number. Once again, I think this survey can be skewed and the findings can be skewed, at least because it's not touching around Microsoft's customer base. If they would have included, and I'm pretty sure they didn't, I can probably say that they included a customer base where it actually had corporate offices and businesses rate, I don't think people would say that they even use Apple in their industry. Maybe iPads or something like that, but I don't think that they use it. So that's that. So that's the end for chapter 6 and measuring and managing customer relationships, which I think Microsoft does a great job when it comes to the corporate industry. I just don't think their customer base is the consumer base. I know they're trying to venture out of that, but that's what's maintained them profitable, and that's what makes them top 10 Forbes. And I think they should continue doing what they're doing. All right, Professor, thank you for taking the time, and if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.